from Ras Lanuf. Well, we can talk to Nabila Ramdani now. She's a journalist specialising in the Middle East, and she joins me in the studio. Thank you very much for coming in. Any number of issues for us to talk about. Let's start off with the rebel call that NATO continues to help. Do you think that's right, justified that they do that?
Well, NATO, there's no question that NATO has not been helping all along, the rebel cause, and the reason why the rebels have been able to not only capture the city of Tripoli, for example, but to make major breakthroughs in Libya. It's precisely because of NATO's help, providing air cover, air power, but also arms supplies. So there's no question that NATO, it's very much perceived, by the rest of the world as a NATO's war rather than the rebels'
But NATO should continue right the way through until the job is done in the eyes of the rebels.
Well, that's what NATO's mission is, and that's what the rebels are heavily relying on. It is, in my opinion, crucial is that NATO's role as to the protection of the thousands of lives of the civilians who are living in the city of Sirte, who are neither pro or anti-Gaddafi, and who might, get caught in all that. So what is NATO going to do about it? If its mission is indeed to protect civilian lives, then surely it should, guarantee the protection of these people.
Now, looking at the situation in Tripoli, we heard from the BBC's Lise Doucet just a few minutes ago on Impact saying there are still problems with water and with electricity. The political establishment hasn't completed its move from Benghazi to Tripoli. The NTC knew what was going to happen if they seized Tripoli. Should they have been more prepared for these eventualities?
Well, I think it shows indeed the level of unpreparedness of the NTC, but this was sort of expected. We're talking about utter chaos, a civil war effectively that's going on, and you're quite right to highlight that there's a horror. Shortage of basic food supplies, water and electricity supplies, hospitals which cannot cope with an increasing number of casualties and need the fundamentals to save lives. And we are talking about a country which, before the war started, had free electricity and water supplies for domestic use, where the price of petrol per litre was 7 pence. It has now reached £20 on the black market. And Libya is now currently relying heavily on the help and donations of neighbouring country. But it is crucial now that the Libyans take control of their own the management of their country, and hence, in my opinion...
Even if in the short term that means people have to do without things they might get if help from outside was taken? I
think the help should come from a pressure of the National Transitional Council on the international community to unfreeze Gaddafi's assets, and that the assets should be used to deal with the day-to-day life, which is degrading by the day.
Nabila Ramdani, thank you very much indeed for joining us